Good afternoon and welcome to a chilly Winter Holder Field here on the campus of Taylor University for this afternoon's single-game 9-inning contest between the Fighting Bees of St. Ambrose University and the Taylor University Trojans. Rick Johnson here with you as Taylor looks to get back to 2 games over 500 after falling to number 19 IU Southeast 11-3 here in their home opener on Valentine's Day on Wednesday. Matt Patton gets the start on the hill here this afternoon for the Trojans. He is the Crossroads League leader in strikeouts with 16 and wins with 2 here in the early portion of the 2018 campaign.
Leading off for St. Ambrose, the shortstop, Kevin Zanger.
The shortstop, Kevin Zanger, will lead things off for St. Ambrose. Matt Baldwin will follow him, and batting out of the 3 spot today is number 28, Mike Miller. Trojans in their purple uniforms here this afternoon, and a first pitch swinging. It's foul to the left side for strike number 1. Patton, the senior right-hander, quickly working with Watson, the man behind the plate this afternoon for TU. Back to the off-speed pitch, and that'll miss off the right half of the plate for ball number 1. We mentioned Patton, leader in strikeouts with 16, leader in wins in the Crossroads League with 2. The 1-1, inside pitch, paints that left half of the plate. Nice pitch there from Patton, and he goes ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The defense behind him today, Wyatt Whitman in left, Sam Weiss in center, Jared Atkins is in right. 4th one from Patton, swing and a miss, and there's strikeout number 17 on the season, and there's 1 gone here in the top half of the first inning.
Second baseman, Matt Baldwin.
Second baseman Matt Baldwin will be the next man up with 1 out here in the top half of the first inning. Patton with the white pants pulled up to the knees, showing off the purple socks here this afternoon. There's a chopper right up the middle, and it will bounce on through just out of the reach of the second baseman, Brett Lawson. So first hit of the day will go to Matt Baldwin, and the first hit of the season for St. Ambrose will be his as well, as they're playing their first game here this afternoon. So a single right up the middle, and a man on with 1 out here in the top half of the first. Batting third today is Mike Miller, 5'10", first lefty bat here, the lineup for St. Ambrose. Patton out of the stretch, and the righty deals one off the left half of the plate for a ball. No score as we play here in the top half of the first. And someone's car alarm rattling off to our right. Second one from Patton. Hits the top part of the zone, and it's a called strike to Miller. Miller out of Chicago, Illinois. He's got a runner at first. Patton patiently waiting. And the third one, nice breaking ball with the bottom dropping out of it, and he goes ahead 1-2. Patton, one of the most consistent arms out of the Trojan arsenal here in 2018, and also one of the few seniors. Last year, every senior was a pitcher a year ago for the Trojans. This year, there's a few veteran arms and a lot of young fellows. Pickoff attempt over to first. Kennedy applies the tag, and sliding back in safely is Matt Baldwin. Second base are manned by 2 Florida boys, and they don't try to hide it in Lawson and Lane. Lawson at second, Lane at short. Both have the protective masks over their faces. Taggart and Indiana boys over at third. The 1-2 off the end of the bat. This will be fouled away to our left. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes with 1 out and 1 on here in the top half of the first inning. 2 teams were scheduled to play a doubleheader yesterday, but with all the rain and the cold temps moving through, they pushed it to just the 2 games today, and then they chopped 1 game off with a little bit of snow and some more precipitation coming in here later this afternoon. Wind blowing out towards right field as Patton will spin over to first. Kennedy applies the tag, and sliding back in is Matt Baldwin. Miller, the best bat a year ago for St. Ambrose. Batted .417 in his 34 games played. 53 hits, tied for second most for the Fighting Bees a year ago. Now rip one right back up the middle. That's back-to-back singles up the middle for the second and third hitters in the lineup today for SAU. And that will shift Baldwin over to second and put Miller over at first. 2 on and 1 out here in the top half of the first for St. Ambrose. Batting cleanup this afternoon for St. Ambrose is number 21, Andrew Barreto.
Now batting left fielder Andrew Barreto.
Barreto a year ago batted .248 in his 42 games played. He's got men on here. No scores. We played top half of the first. Batting out of the stretch and drops in a breaking ball for a strike. St. Ambrose went to the national tournament a year ago after winning the CCAC tournament. Taylor finished second place in the Crossroads League and were knocked out of the league tournament, preventing them from going back to the national stage for a second year in a row. Second one, soft grounder right side, right to Kennedy at first. Fields will want to turn two. They'll get the out at second. And a low throw prevents Lane the opportunity to try to turn two. Moves a runner over to third, but there are two gone here at the top of the first for the visitors.
Now batting center fielder David Gonzalez.
2 outs and 1 on for David Gonzalez here this afternoon, as fans continue to file into the metal bleachers down below us. Baldwin, the man at third, as Tanner Watson, the Taylor catcher, will adjust some of his equipment to his liking. David Gonzalez, returner for SAU, batted .297, in 2017, as Watson steps out from behind home plate and makes a defensive signal to the infield. Lane relays it to his former high school mate, Lawson, over there at second. Trojans in the purple uniforms here this afternoon, gray numbers and the gray TU across the front with the white pants. Check swing, and going around is the lefty Gonzalez for a strike. Tanner Ennis, the man on deck for the Fighting Bees out of Iowa. Pickoff attempt to first. Ball stuck underneath the runner, and here comes in a run from third. That will be Matt Baldwin scoring as Patton tried the pickoff attempt over to first. So 1-0 lead here for SAU with 2 outs and 1 on. One strike the count to David Gonzalez, the left-handed bat. And now he falls behind 0-2 as this one fouled out to the left. The first inning was not kind to St. Ambrose a year ago. They were outscored 47-33 in first inning contests a year ago. The 0-2. This one popped into the air towards the left. Whitman ranging bat, backpedaling, and he makes the grab near the left shoulder for out number 1. But scoring from third will be Matt Baldwin, and through 1/2 inning, St. Ambrose leads Taylor 1-0. Trojans come up to bat for the first time after this commercial break. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Taylor down 1-0 as they bat here in the bottom of the first. And the first one from the right-hander Nate Kurtz will find the zone to the Trojans' left fielder Wyatt Whitman. As TU has shuffled up the lineup here this afternoon. Whitman rising up in the batting order after being towards the middle of it in the first couple games of the year. Second one to Whitman misses. Kurtz a year ago collected 4 wins for St. Ambrose, went 4-1 in 9 appearances and 6 starts. Curveball here gets Whitman to chase low, and the Trojan left fielder behind in the count now 1-2. Kurtz 1 save and 40 innings tossed a season ago. Struck out 35, walked 21. And the fourth pitch bounces in, and the count evens at 2-2. Following Whitman on deck is Tanner Watson, the Trojan catcher. Nathan Taggart will bat third. Austin Medica bats fourth. Then it's Sam Weiss, Jared Atkins, Andrew Kennedy, as Whitman rips one foul down the third base line. It remains 2-2. Following Kennedy will be Lawson and Lane, the Florida boys, to round out the Trojan order here this afternoon. Whitman batting just .226 in the first 9 games of the year for TU. And the fifth pitch will miss. The sixth one, and the count is now full to the Trojan leadoff man here this afternoon. St. Ambrose in dark blue with white pants. The payoff pitch to Whitman. Lines it right back up the middle. It'll bounce in to short center field, and the Trojans have their leadoff man on with Wyatt Whitman's 8th hit of the season.
Now batting the catcher, Tanner Watson.
So a runner on here for Tanner Watson, the Trojan catcher, as they trail by 1 here, batting for the first time this afternoon. Pickoff attempt over to first, and Whitman will slide back in. Good speed out there for 11 in purple. He's not afraid to swipe a base or 2 if given the opportunity. A healthy lead for Wyatt over there at first. He stays on the first offering to Watson, which is low for a ball. Tanner batting .219 in the first 9 games of the year. He has started now all 10 contests for TU, as Kurtz will toss it back over to first. Stroman at first, Baldwin at second, Zanger the shortstop, Minder is at third. Lubeck is behind the plate, Barreto, Gonzalez, Miller, the outfield from left to right. Second one to Watson, fools him on the breaking ball, and the count levels at a ball and a strike. The Trojans have yet to hit a home run here this season after breaking the single-season mark for home runs a campaign ago. Watson with some power in that bat, and another toss over to first. No tag this time from Stroman. The 1-1. Bunt down the third base line. Kurtz will field. Bare hand toss to first. In time, they get Watson out by a half step. And the sacrifice bunt will move Whitman over to second with 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and Taylor trailing by 1. One out and a runner in scoring position for the best batter in the Trojan lineup, Nathan Taggart. Curveball that he sits on, he'll pop it up down the right field line. Stroman tracking in foul ground, he'll lose it, and it'll land between him and Baldwin, the second baseman. So Taggart being aggressive, going after the first one he sees. Here from the right-hander Kurtz, who will require a new baseball. St. Ambrose in the dark blue, jerseys and caps with the white pinstripe pants. As you mentioned, Taylor in the purple here this afternoon with the white pants. Gray numbers and gray letters. The lettering and numbers for St. Ambrose are in white. A foul ball, the first one to Taggart, with his teammate Whitman standing at second. Fastball low and away, and the count levels at 1-1. Taggart, the only Trojan batting over 400 in the first 9 games of the year, 455. Team best 15 hits, no one with more than 8. 1-1 low. Blocked by Lubeck. And now Taggart in front, 2-1. Taggart playing over at third base here this afternoon. Has been seeing time at first in the most times throughout the year, but was the mainstay over in the hot corner back in 2017. Whitman stays with that big lead at second, and Taggart will golf one and miss. Inside pitch, 2-2 to the right-handed bat. The DH Austin Medica stands on deck for TU as the Trojans trail by 1 here in the bottom of the first. Taggart adjusts that purple batting helmet. Whitman stationary over at second. Curveball that Taggart will slap at towards Baldwin at second. Bobbles it but gets it back, and a soft toss to first results in Taylor's second out of the bottom half of the first inning. Whitman does advance over to third, however.
Now batting the DH, Austin Medica.
So Austin Medica, the left-handed DH this afternoon, has been in the rotation, switching back and forth behind the plate with Taylor's Tanner Watson. He's got Whitman, the tying run, standing over at third, 2 outs in the bottom half of the first inning. Kurtz kicks and drives out of the stretch, and Medica taking the whole way for an inside strike. Austin out of Prosper, Texas, a mid-year transfer a season ago. The first lefty that Kurtz will face here today. This one pops out of the glove of Halubeck. Here comes Whitman in from third. He'll fumble with it, and a head-first slide will allow Whitman to score from third. Halubeck slid and then fumbled with the ball. It was a good cover by the pitcher, Kurtz. And it looked like they would have been able to get Whitman out with a decent play, but Halubeck bobbles the ball, and Whitman scores from third, and we're even at 1 apiece here in the bottom of the first with 2 outs, and now nobody on for Austin Medica. One and one to the DH, and he'll send this one high to the cloudy skies to right. The second baseman, Baldwin, over underneath, makes the grab, and there's out number 3. But not before Taylor able to even this one up at 1 apiece through 1 inning of play. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Second inning of work here for Matt Patton, the Crossroads League leader in strikeouts. And he comes into a game that's the exact same as when he started it an inning ago, tied. This time, though, at 1. Breaking ball drops in for a strike to the DH this afternoon for St. Ambrose, Tanner Ennis. Senior, 5'11", from Bettendorf, Iowa. Patton quickly working once again, this time comes inside. And it's a swing and a miss from Ennis as he falls behind, 0-2. basketball update. The Taylor women's basketball team leading Grace 20-11 after 1 quarter of play in there. Winona Lake. Off-speed pitch from Patton will freeze Ennis for strikeout number 2 on the day for Matt Patton. And there's 1 gone here at the top of the second.
Now batting first baseman Zach Stroman.
So Zach Stroman will bat here for SAU. Stroman in his first season as a member of the Fighting Bees. And the first one is taken for a ball. Big lefty, 6'4", 215 pounds from Yorkville, Illinois. He'll swing and miss, and the count levels at 1-1. Transfer in from Waubonsee Community College. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the second, game even at a run apiece. Same pitch, same result, a swing and a miss from the lefty Stroman. And it's 1-2 now. Wind now blowing a little bit from right to left. 1-2, 3 straight pitches and 3 swings and misses there from Zach Stroman. Back-to-back strikeouts for Patton, his 3rd of the afternoon, and there are 2 gone for St. Ambrose here in the top of the second inning. First pitch swinging to the left side. Patton Minder there. Fielded by Taggart at third, over to first. And a 1-2-3 inning here for Matt Patton in the top half of the second inning. We head to the bottom half of the stanza with our game even at 1. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook Butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at TaylorCampusStore.com. A loose baseball has rolled onto Winterholder Field. One of the reserves for St. Ambrose will hop out and snag it as Sam Weiss, a Iowa native himself, will take a called strike on a breaking ball from Kurtz as he leads things off in the bottom half of our second inning. And Taylor and SAU all even at 1. Curveball again. This to the right half of the plate. Weiss takes again, and he falls behind 0-2. Last year's Crossroads League Player of the Year, Jared Atkins, will follow Sam. And Andrew Kennedy will be the man back there. High chopper, one-hand grab by one of the members of the Taylor reserves in the dugout. And it remains 0-2. Kurtz, the righty, out of the windup. 0-2. Curveball again. Weiss will rip this one down the left field line. He will be waved on to second. No, he was, and then Weiss will round and hit the brakes. The ball didn't catch as much and bounce and roll, I think, as much as he thought with all that rain out there in the grass outfield. But a good rip there from Sam Weiss. 9th hit of the year for Sam. That's the second most on the Trojans. And we'll see if Jared Atkins can keep it rolling here for TU. Second hit of the day for TU. So Whitman led off the bottom of the first with a single. Weiss did the same here in inning number 2. Jared has had his struggles here in the first 9 games. First pitch, and that's not struggling there as he rips it through the left side of the infield. What struggles for 7 in purple, and back-to-back singles here for the Trojans put men at first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the second as they look for their first lead of the afternoon, deadlocked at 1 with St. Ambrose.
Now batting first baseman Andrew Kennedy.
So bring up Andrew Kennedy, the first baseman for TU. 3 for 10 on the year. And one of those 3 hits has been a double. Good speed out there with Weiss and Atkins at second and first, respectively. Nobody out as Taylor bats in the bottom half of the second inning of this 9-inning affair. Trojans and the Fighting Bees here from Winterholder Field. Curveball that Kennedy liked, but tips it into the glove of Holubeck for a strike. Brett Lawson stands on deck. He has pulled the cover over the face down around his neck as he waits to bat. Weiss extends the lead back out at second. Curveball. He'll be low for a ball. The ball squirted out of the glove of Holubeck. Runners stay at their respective bases. A ball and a strike to today's first baseman, Andrew Kennedy. He was the starter in Taylor's loss to number 19 IU Southeast on Wednesday night. Righty-on-righty matchup, Kurtz against Kennedy. Nobody out, bottom of the second. Back-to-back singles to lead it off, and then Kennedy will jolt one over to the left field corner. This one rolls all the way to the track. Weiss will coast in from second. They'll hold Atkins up at third. It's an RBI double for Andrew Kennedy. And the Trojans take their first lead here of the afternoon, 2-1, as the first 3 men have all reached base safely here in the bottom of the second. So we've been waiting for the Taylor bats to come to life here in a couple of games this year. Now here's a mound meeting with Kurtz and Holubeck with Brett Lawson ready to bat for the first time today. So Kennedy now 4 for 11. Weiss comes out and will give a couple pointers to Josh Lane, who's the man on deck. You can hear that wind howling on our crowd microphone. Most everybody here has got blankets and sweatshirts and coats. There is a young man down there in a short sleeve shirt and basketball shorts. That does not seem like a way to stay warm. That seems like a way to get sick. That's not good. And he's just sitting right down there on the very top bleacher where it's arguably the windiest out there from those bleacher seats. I'm getting cold just looking at him. So Brett Lawson bats with men at second and third, nobody out. And Taylor has had 3 straight hits to start this bottom of the second off. Kurtz will miss high, and it's a ball to Brett Lawson. Lawson batting .296. He was swing, and that ball, and that bat goes sailing out of Lawson's hands. Taylor head coach Kyle Gould, the third base coach, calmly watched it sail over his head. Lawson, not a fan of those batting gloves, but on this cold day, that bat just slipped out of his hands and boomeranged its way down to third base. 1-1 to the Taylor second baseman. He'll swing and miss an off-speed pitch off the right half of the plate. 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Kurtz looks for the first out here in the bottom half of the second. Taylor has pushed already 1 run across with the RBI double from Andrew Kennedy. He remains at second base, and Jared Atkins is over there at third. The 1-2 from Kurtz, well off the right half of the plate, and the count evens at 2-2. Kurtz last year had an ERA of 4.975. Mentioned the good record of 4-1. Grounder up the middle, fielded by the shortstop Zanger. They'll get the out over at first, and Atkins will score from third, and Taylor increases their lead to 3-1. Here with the first out in the bottom half of the second inning for Josh Lane.
How about the shortstop, Josh Lane?
3-1 the Taylor lead, as Josh Lane will bat for the first time here this afternoon. Fastball away for a ball, with Wyatt Whitman, the man, waiting on deck for TU. Quick second pitch. This will be popped into the air behind home plate, and Holubeck discards the mask and makes the catch a couple feet in front of the backstop. 2 outs as Taylor turns the lineup over for Wyatt Whitman.
Now batting left fielder Wyatt Whitman.
Whitman singled and scored his first time up, and that tied the game at 1 in the bottom of the first. 2 runs home here for Taylor in the bottom of the second. They lead 3-1. First one from Kurtz. Breaking ball missing high for a ball. Whitman entered the day batting .226, with now 8 hits on the year, tied for second most on the Trojans. Made that third most. This one off the end of the bat towards center field, and reaching and making the catch is the second baseman Baldwin in short center. The Trojans push home 2 runs on an RBI double from Andrew Kennedy and an RBI groundout from Brett Lawson. And we've played 2 here from Winterholder Field. The Trojans lead the Fighting Bees 3-1. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
First pitch swinging is lined up and over our heads by the catcher, Josh Holubeck. We're at the top of the third. Taylor has scored each of their first 2 times up, and there's another one that goes sailing over our heads here in the toasty, warm press box. It is chilly out there today. Update on our friend downstairs who came out in the t-shirt and shorts. He's long gone. He was here for about 5 minutes, no longer here. I think he went inside to go get a blanket or a hot chocolate or something. As Patton's third one, just missing the zone to the oohs and ahs of the Taylor faithful down below. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the catcher Holubeck as he leads things off here in the top half of the third. This one skied into the air again. Watson tracking it. This one lands right in front of the aforementioned warm press box. Holubeck then back to the top of the order for St. Ambrose. Zanger followed by Baldwin. Holubeck batted just .272 last year, 22 hits and 9 runs driven in. Off speed, Patton freezes him on the inside corner for strikeout number 4. And there's 1 gone here in the top half of the third as Patton has now retired. Excuse me. The last 5 men he's seen, 3 via the strikeout. Back to the top of the order. And Kevin Zanger. And a breaking ball from Patton for a called strike one. 3-1 the Trojan advantage. They push 2 home in the bottom of the second. Just 2 hits on the day so far for St. Ambrose. Patton comes back across the inside part of the plate after Watson set up on the right half. And Patton again, quickly working just like he normally does, is ahead 0-2 to the second man he sees here at the top of the third. Low fastball, just a hair too low. And it's a ball and 2 strikes to Zanger. He struck out swinging his first time up as he led the contest off. 4th one from the right-handed Patton. Off the end of the bat, dribbler left side. Taggart in front, one-hand whip over to first. Kennedy stretches in time for out number 2. Good stretch there from Kennedy over at first base, and there are 2 gone here at the top of the third for the visitors from Iowa.
Now batting second baseman Matt Baldwin.
So Matt Baldwin, the 5'10 right-handed bat out of Chicago, Illinois, has one of the 2 hits this afternoon for the Fighting Bees. That one bounces in from Patton for a ball. Now this is not the first time that Taylor and St. Ambrose have played. Normally they meet on the gridiron during the fall, as both teams are members of the Mid-States Football Association. Ground right back up the middle, snagged on the mound by Patton. He'll jog to first, underhanded to Kennedy. And there's the second 1-2-3 inning in a row for the senior right-hander, Matt Patton. He's retired 7 in a row. We're through 2.5 here in Upland, Indiana. It's 3-1 Taylor over St. Ambrose. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
An update from Grace College, the Taylor women's basketball team playing in the regular season finale. They are up 39-30 over the Lancers of Grace College. The women and head coach Jody Martinez, who, as we mentioned on Wednesday, is our unofficial meteorologist. And the first one from Tanner Watson is high for a ball. He and the ladies will be back here on Tuesday to open up the Crossroads League tournament against an opponent yet to be determined. 1-0 to Watson. Second one off the end of the bat, dribbles to the right side. And the count levels at 1-1. Tanner was out by just a step his first time up. Second man to see the plate at the bottom of the first. Was out on a sacrifice bunt by about a half step. As the Trojans even the game at 1, and they push 2 more across in the bottom of the second. They're ahead 3-1 right now. Watson, Ripper, like third base side, minder there. Backhand stab, reaching and snagging it to Stroman at first. And Watson retired for the second time here today. 1 gone. Here in the bottom of the third for the Trojans, up by 2. And that brings up the third baseman, Nathan Taggart, who grounded out to the second baseman, Baldwin, his first time at the dish here this afternoon. First one finds the right corner for a called strike. 4 hits today for the Trojans, 3 coming there in the second when they push those 2 runs across. Fastball low and away. Taggart watches it zip in for ball 1, excuse me. This will be the 40th pitch of the afternoon for Kurtz as we operate here in the bottom of the third. Curveball that Taggart will just smack right back up the middle. There's his first hit today as he sat back on the curveball from the right-hander Kurtz. And there's one on for Austin Medica, the Taylor DH. Taylor still leading by 2 here in the bottom half of the third inning.
The DH, Austin Medica.
So hit number 5 for Taylor. First one for the man who knocked around 94 a year ago. And with another big year, Taggart has an opportunity. He would have to break his own single-season mark of 94 hits in a year to break the career mark in only 3 years. First offering to the lefty Medica will swing and miss for a strike. The man that Taggart is chasing is a legend here in the Taylor baseball program, Michael Cranack, who was actually inducted into the Hall of Fame this past fall. 0-1. Off speed left side of the plate, missing for ball 1. So we might have to make an addendum or a post-it note on that plaque of Cranack's in the lobby of Odell Arena that was just installed a few months ago. Might be at the end of the year, might not be until next year, but Taggart is on pace to smash that record. Third one to Medica. Chest high, a little bit high. 2 balls and a strike for the Trojan DH, Austin Medica. Sam Weiss is on deck, the center fielder, with Taylor leading 3-1 here in the bottom half of the third inning. Out of the stretch is the righty Kurtz. Zips one in right in the bottom part of the zone at the knees. And the count levels at 2-2. Medica popped up to the second baseman Baldwin to end things in the bottom of the first for TU. Off the end of the bat, just to our left into the plaza. Taggart the man at first after his single up the middle. 1 out with Zanger and Baldwin a double play depth up the middle. The 2-2. Medica sitting back and the count full as the fastball misses away. Five hits on the afternoon for the Trojans. Taggart the man at first. And the 3-2 from Kurtz to Medica. Curveball high. There's the first walk of the day allowed by Kurtz. There are 2 men on here for Sam Weiss, the Trojan center fielder.
Now batting center fielder Sam Weiss.
Weiss roped one to left to lead things off in the second. It was the second hit of the day for TU. Also came around to score the second of Taylor's runs on the afternoon. Fastball zips in on the right front part of the plate. And it's a strike to Weiss. Taggart at second, Medica at first. With Sam Weiss at the plate. That's slightly open, right-handed batting stance. Kurtz at the left edge of the bump. Off speed is high, and the count levels at 1-1. Sam with now 9 hits on the year, second behind Taggart's 16 as he stands at second. Third pitch, off speed again, high again. And Weiss goes ahead 2-1. Kyle Gould, the Taylor head coach in his 14th season, the Taylor grad, who's a handful of wins away from setting the all-time coaching wins mark set by the namesake of the field and his former head coach, Larry Winterholder. Coach Winterholder still in the area, still comes out to games when he can, was also a basketball player here at Taylor. Ironically enough, he was on the team back in the 50s or 60s that won their first 10 games of the year, which the Taylor men's basketball team matched a year ago. We'll hope to get Coach Winterholder up here on a broadcast later in the spring, maybe when things warm up, even though we are quite comfortable up here now. 2-1 to Weiss with men at first and second and 1 gone, bottom of the third. Taylor up by 2, and that's 3 straight pitches that have missed high from the righty Kurtz. Jared Atkins on deck, who singled and scored his first time up just an inning ago. The 3-1 to Weiss, inside, launching it, but pulling it foul. Weiss had a breakout season 2 years ago as a sophomore for the Trojans, when he came in for Kevin Fahey as a starting center fielder about midway through the year and had a fantastic run at the national stage down in Georgia. Payoff pitch from Kurtz. Pops it high into the air towards left. Barreto underneath calls everybody off. He has to take a couple quick backpedaling steps, but does come up with the catch for out number 2. Runners stay at first and second.
Now batting, right fielder Jared Atkins.
So Jared Atkins, who's been quiet throughout the previous 9 games for the Trojans, but was loud in a big way his first time up. We'll try to keep the bottom of the 3rd rolling here with Taylor up by 2 runs. Action starting to pick up now for St. Ambrose down in the bullpen to our right. It's Taggart at second, Medica at first. A pivot move from Kurtz, nobody covering second. And so Taggart will jog back. Jared batting just 156 coming into today's action. Now 6 for 33 after the first single. First offering from Kurtz. Low, bounces away from Holubeck. And Taggart was ready to go, got about almost halfway between second and third, and then darted back to the second base bag, seeing how quickly Holubeck pounced on the bouncing ball. A ball to Jared Atkins, the Trojan right fielder here this afternoon. He'll smack this one through the left side. Taggart will check up at third. Good throw from Barreto, the left fielder. A little off target, but Holubeck, the catcher, able to scamper over and smother it up. But a rip there from Atkins as he's 2 for 2 here today, and the base is juiced for Andrew Kennedy with Taylor up 3-1 here in the bottom of the 3rd. They're trying to blow this thing open.
Now batting, first baseman Andrew Kennedy.
6 hits on the day for TU. They've scored in the first 2 innings today. They try to make it 3 for 3 here. Kurtz, the right-hander, at the left edge of the bump, goes full windup here against the righty Kennedy. That one is high, and that we'll hear some cheers and jeers from the Trojan dugout down the third base line. Kennedy had the RBI double to give Taylor a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 2nd. Second one, fastball, trying to frame it is Holubeck, and that one a hair high as well. With each pitch out of the zone, the Taylor dugout grows louder and louder. Bases juiced for Kennedy, 2 outs, 2-0. Kennedy just a little bit underneath, and that one sails out of play to the right. Kennedy batting .300 coming in. Doubled his first time up, the 2-1. Fastball away, now he's ahead 3-1 with Brett Lawson standing on deck for the Trojans. And the 3-1, Kennedy discarded the bat, but it's called for ball, or strike 2, excuse me, so the count is now full. Bases full, 2 outs, bottom of the 3rd inning. Taylor up by 2. 3 balls and 2 strikes as Kurtz shakes off the first 2 signs he gets, now finds the one he wants. Runners go. Curveball is away, and that will walk in. The 4th run of the day for TU. Taggart tags home. And there's a second RBI of the day for Kennedy.
Now batting, second baseman Brett Lawson.
So Brett Lawson will try to add to his RBI total after driving one in on his first time at the plate here this afternoon. First one from Kurtz, taken for a called strike. The next pitch will be the 60th for Kurtz. Season opener here today for St. Ambrose, the 10th game of the year for TU. Fastball low and away, and the count evens at 1-1. On the first at bat for Lawson, remember the bat slipped out of his hands as he dons batting gloves here this time. The 1-1. Curveball drops in beautifully from the righty Kurtz. And he goes ahead 1-2. Bases full for the Trojans. They've got one run home already. And there are 2 outs in the bottom of the third, up by 3. The 1-2. Lawson right up the middle, goes off of Kurtz's glove, fielded by Baldwin at second, over to first, a low throw, but it'll be picked by Stroman at first. That could have been disastrous if that ball had careened any inch farther away from Baldwin off of the Kurtz glove. So the old routine 1-4-3 put out to end things in the bottom of the third, but Taylor scratches across one more run. They're up 4-1 after 3 innings here from Winter-Holder Field. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
The Taylor University Athletic Department would like to thank BZW Master Painters, Central Indiana Orthopedics, Pizza Hut of Gas City, and the Players Club at Woodland Trails for being women's basketball season sponsors for the 2017-2018 basketball season.
We start at the top of the fourth with Mike Miller leading it off here for St. Ambrose, the right fielder. And Matt Patton starting his 4th full inning of work. And the first offering from Patton just a little bit outside. The lefty Miller batting for the 2nd time today has one of the 2 hits for St. Ambrose today. Check swing, and he went around, and the count levels at 1-1. Miller, the best bat for St. Ambrose a year ago, batting .417, 53 hits. Was 2nd most on the roster with the shortstop Zanger. This one lifted into left. Whitman trailing, makes a nice acrobatic catch. That ball was behind him a little bit. But Whitman goes up, makes a nice catch, and there's one gone in the top of the 4th for the visiting side.
Now batting left fielder Andrew Barreto.
1 out, no one on. Starting things here in the 4th. For Andrew Barreto, who reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. And it's called strike right there. 0-1. And now let's make it 0-2. Fastball there from Patton. Matt with already 4 strikeouts here today. He's retired 8 men in a row. And now we'll make it 9 on his 5th strikeout of the day. And there are 2 outs here in the top of the 4th.
Now batting center fielder David Gonzalez.
Second 3-pitch, 3 strikeout. 3 strikes, I should say, for Matt Patton today. Top of the 4th, Taylor up by 3, 4-1. There's a chopper right side. Lawson at second makes the field. Will squirt underneath his glove. There's the first man to reach base safely since the first inning. An error there against Lawson. It'll be the second one of the day for TU. The top of the fourth will continue here for St. Ambrose.
Now batting the DH, Tanner Ennis.
So the inning continues. DH Tanner Ennis, excuse me, will bat. Big swing and a big miss. Ennis struck out looking his first time up on the first 3-pitch strikeout for Patton. Look over to the football field. We see Clay Riggins along with Tucker Waddup starting to get loose for Taylor over there. Second pitch, and another big swing and another big miss from Ennis. He's down 0-2. Four to 1 the Taylor lead as they try to get back to 2 games over 500 on the year. Right down the middle, freezing Ennis. There's strikeout number 6 for Matt Patton. And through 3.5, Taylor up 4 to 1 here over St. Ambrose. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
A bunt from Josh Lane against the new pitcher Luke Bicina, and it results in an out. Bicina, sophomore left-hander, 5'11", 185 pounds, out of Chicago.
Now batting left fielder Wyatt Whitman.
Appeared in 10 games a year ago. Had a 5.63 ERA, no decisions in 16 innings of work. One gone for Taylor here in the bottom of the fourth, up by 3. Whitman swings down the right field line, the ball goes, and it will tail foul by about a foot. Kurtz's line went 3 innings, allowed 6 hits, 4 runs, all earned. He walked 1, did not strike out any on 62 pitches. Whitman 1 for 2 today. A single and a run scored in the first, popped out to second and Baldwin his last time up. This one down the left side of the plate, and the right-handed bat will take it inside for a ball. Takes on the third pitch for a called strike. You can hear Taylor head coach Kyle Gould offering instructions to Whitman. The first base coach is the Grant County Hall of Famer, Rick Atkinson. The 1-2 is high from the lefty Bichina, and the count is all square at 2-2. Two hits on the afternoon for St. Ambrose, 6 for the Trojans. The 2-2, Whitman's going to collect hit number 7 for the team and his 7th overall on a single to left field. So Whitman 2 for 3 on the afternoon.
Now batting the catcher, Taylor Watson.
As he came in batting .226. On the day to start, just 3 Trojans had batted at least 300, with Taggart being the best of them, McGill at .333, Tate at .333, and Kennedy at an even .300. But Taggart was the only one with more than 15 at-bats coming in. Watson takes a fastball below the knees for a called strike, or right at the knees, I should say. Over to first, Whitman dives back. A sacrifice bunt and a ground out, the 2 times up for Watson today. Here's a high hopper left side coming in, catching at the shoelaces is Minder. They get the out at second. They will not be able to turn 2. And so Watson on base for the first time this afternoon for Nathan Taggart with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th. As Taylor tries to score runs into their first 4 times at the dish today. They'll also bring in Kyle Kelsheimer to courtesy run for Watson, the catcher. Two outs and a man on for the ever-dangerous Nathan Taggart, who's 1 for 2 today. Off speed inside from Bichina, and Taggart will take it for a ball. Singleton scored in the 3rd. He's the last runner to score for TU so far. Grounder left side, snagged by Minder. Over to second, they get the force out over there, and that will end things here in the 4th. Through 4, it's Taylor 4 and St. Ambrose 1. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at TaylorCampusStore.com. We start the top half of the 5th with the first baseman Stroman. That's Zach Stroman, the junior transfer for St. Ambrose, as the Fighting Bees trail by 3. Here's a chopper right side on the 0-1. Patton will pick it up, toss to first, and there's one gone here at the top of the fifth for the visitors.
Now batting third baseman Peyton Linder.
Patton has been great today. Allowed that one run in the first, has not allowed any runs since. Just 2 hits, 6 strikeouts, no walks on a very efficient 46 pitches through 4 1/3. Mitch Eubler starting to warm up for Taylor in the pen down to the left. And a big swing and a miss on a nice breaking ball from the righty Patton. Does have the one error on the day, and outside of that, and the ball just squirting out of his glove as he shares a smile with Lane and catcher Tanner Watson. The only couple slip-ups today for 8 and purple. Second one, line into center. Here comes Weiss diving and making a spectacular catch in center field to rob a single from St. Ambrose. 2 outs here in the top of the fifth on a nice grab from the center fielder Weiss. That's an Iowa crime there for the Iowa native Sam Weiss. St. Ambrose made the trip over from Iowa this morning. They left at 4 in the morning and drove over here. They're playing one game today. They're playing St. Francis out of Fort Wayne, Taylor's Crossroads League opponent, down in Westfield at that Grand Park complex tomorrow. '50th pitch, left half for a called strike to the catcher Holubeck, who's crowding the left side of the plate. Holubeck 0 for 1 on the day already, with a strikeout looking. And that one just a little bit low and away. Good zip there from the righty Patton. 1-2. And here's the 1-2 from Patton. Swing and a miss. Second time that Holubeck has struck out today. 7th strikeout for Matt Patton. We're halfway home here from Winterholder Field. Taylor up 4-1 over St. Ambrose. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
An update from Winona Lake. Taylor women's basketball up by 20 late in that game up there against the Lancers. Men's team will play at 3 o'clock, so we wish them and all the best of luck here today. Austin Medica, the Taylor DH, will get things going here in the bottom half of the 5th inning for the Trojans, who are up 4-1 over St. Ambrose. It'll be Medica, Weiss, and Jared Atkins up here for the Trojans. That one will bounce in off the left side batter's box. And it's 2-0 to Medica. Second full inning of work for Luke Bicino, left-hander for SAU. 2-0 Medica grounder right side. Backhand stop by Stroman in fair ground. Gets up, throws from his knees. Bicino there to cover. And there's one gone in the bottom of the 5th here for the Fighting Bees of St. Ambrose.
batting center fielder Sam Weiss.
Sam Weiss off that diving catch in the top half of this inning. Appearing at the plate for the third time here today on a blustery and chilly afternoon here in Upland, Indiana. A bunt down the third base line. Will it roll foul? Yes. Good eyes there from Minder at third. Same man of the day batting .276. Is 1 for 2 today with a single and a walk. Or excuse me, a single and a run scored, I should say, in the second inning. Nothing in 1 to Weiss. And that one will pop out of the glove of the catcher Holubeck, ball 1. Matt Patton having a conversation with Taylor head coach Kyle Gould down the third base line near the Trojan dugout. Time is called as a ball squirts away from that Taylor bullpen as Mitch Hubler continues to warm up for TU with different teammates standing in as left and right-handed batters. Sam Weiss is a right-handed batter. His 1-1 pitch, he'll pop up down the right field, or to the right infield. Baldwin, the second baseman, comes in for the catch. And there are 2 gone for the Trojans here at the bottom of the 5th. Taylor has not been retired in order at all today. And Jared Atkins is the one to try to keep that streak going. Gets a couple pointers from Weiss. This will be the first time that Atkins has faced Bacino, here today. We're at the bottom of the 5th. Taylor up 4-1. Trying to move back to 2 games above 500 on the year. Breaking ball comes inside from the lefty, Bacino. And Atkins takes for a ball. Jared came in slow start, just 5 for 32. Entering today's action, a 156 average, but he's 2 for 2 today. Takes a second one high and away, 2-0. And you knew it'd just be a matter of time before the All-American would right the ship and get going once again. Bounces one third base side, pops out of the glove of Minder, spins, picks it up. No throw over to first, and so Atkins will be safe. And the bottom of the 5th continues. It'll be an error on the third baseman, Minder. First one of the day for SAU. Four to 1, the Taylor lead. 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, and a man on here for Andrew Kennedy, who is 1 for 1 today with a double and a walk. Each has brought in a run today. Curveball low. Ball number 1. Kennedy, the first baseman here today for TU, as we mentioned earlier, got the start in the loss to IU Southeast on Wednesday. Grounder up the middle. That one will scream on through. Second hit of the day for Andrew Kennedy. And so after the error by Minder that would have gotten St. Ambrose out of the inning, the Trojans now have men at first and second with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th as they look to add to their 4-1 advantage.
Second baseman Brett Lawson.
So that'll bring up Brett Lawson, who has discarded the batting gloves. First time up, the bat slipped through his hands and went twirling down the third base line. Had him on the second time. He goes bare hands here. First one from Bacino out, off speed and outside to the righty Lawson. Bacino out of the stretch. The lefty kicks low and covered by Holubeck. Atkins with his lead over at second. Not only broke the single-season mark for home runs a year ago, also broke it for stolen bases. But has had his struggles this year. He's been thrown out 4 out of the 6 times he's tried to steal a base. Stays here, and then Lawson will pop one to deep left field. Going back is Barreto at the track, at the wall, and there's a 3-run homer for Brett Lawson with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 5th. And Taylor takes a 7-1 lead here on Brett Lawson. Lawson's and the team's first home run of the year. I don't think there was a single time last year the Trojans went more than a week without a home run. They go the first 9 games without a home run before Lawson goes deep here. And with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, Lawson makes it 7-1 Taylor with 2 outs. And a mound meeting here for St. Ambrose with 2 outs. And nobody on now, and Josh Lane ready to bat for the 3rd time today. As someone gives freshman pitcher Luke Shively a shout out for bringing fresh baseballs out to our home plate umpire this afternoon.
Now batting shortstop Josh Lane.
So after the 3-run bomb from Brett Lawson, his former high school teammate Josh Lane will try to keep the bottom of the 5th rolling here for TU. Swings and misses at a breaking ball for a strike. Taylor trying to turn the lineup over. Lane thought about it. Now watch it sail in for ball 1. Lane and Lawson both with those warm covers over their mouths. And now Lane will go opposite way and drop a single in to right field. A little 2-out rally working here for TU. After the first 2 men were retired in order, the fielding error by Minder over at 3rd base put Atkins on, a single from Kennedy, and then the 3-run bomb from Lawson. Now Taylor turns the lineup over on Josh Lane's first hit of the day. Hit number 10 of the afternoon for Taylor. And Whitman has already had 2 hits on the day on his own. First one from the lefty Bacino to the right-handed bat of Wyatt Whitman. Will miss for a ball. Second one, Whitman watches it zip in on the right half for a called strike. 3-run homer for Brett Lawson here in the bottom of the 5th, the first one of the day for TU. They've increased their lead to a game-high 6. They're up 7-1. And now Whitman wants to make it 2 home runs in the same inning. A towering shot to left field, and there's Wyatt Whitman's first home run of the day and the first one of the season for Wyatt Whitman. It's a 2-run shot for the left fielder, and Taylor leads 9-1 as they put up 5 runs here in the bottom of the 5th, all via the long ball. They have a home run chain, and that's funny. A home run chain, it looks like, has been donned on Wyatt Whitman's neck. The same reaction, I think, that we heard for Brett Lawson as well. So all 5 of these runs have come with 2 outs after the error by Minder over at 3rd. So the bottom of the 5th will roll on. 9th batter of the inning for Tanner, and it's Tanner Watson, the Trojan catcher. 11 hits now for TU. And the count now 2-0, both out of the zone to Watson. Eight-run lead for TU. And now Watson ahead 3-0. Taggart, the man on deck. We're in the bottom of the 5th. A 3-run homer by Lawson, a 2-run shot from Whitman, both to left field. The 5 runs for Taylor here in the inning. And the 3-0 will just graze that right corner for a called strike. Eubler was warming up for TU, and now it's the sophomore transfer Tucker Wattups, who's getting in some warm-up tosses down in the pen to our left. Watson foul tips the 5th pitch. And the count full, 3-2. Second full inning of work for the lefty Bacino on the hill for SAU, and it's been a rough one. The error has led to all 5 runs here for the Trojans. The payoff pitch to Watson in front of that one, and he'll ground it foul to the left side of the park. Another one, left side on the 3-2, backhand snag by Zanger at short. Deep in the hole, not in time as Watson beats the throw over. And Taylor will bat around here at the bottom of the 5th. As Kelsheimer will come in for the courtesy runner. He'll actually make that just the 9th batter of the inning. But it's the always ever dangerous Nathan Taggart.
Now batting third baseman Nathan Taggart.
Taylor came into this bottom of the 5th with 4 runs and 6 hits to their name. They have doubled their hit total here in the 5th. They've tacked on 5 more runs. Taggart wants to make it another 2 more runs and another hit. Deep center field, reaching up and making the catch is Gonzalez at the warning track. So Taylor brings 9 men to the plate in the bottom of the 5th. They score all 5 runs with 2 outs. A 3-run shot from Brett Lawson, a 2-run bomb from Wyatt Whitman. Through 5, it's Taylor 9 and St. Ambrose 1. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
Couple defensive subs and a new pitcher in here for TU. It'll be the right-hander Tucker Wattups, the sophomore transfer. And the first one from Tucker. His will face the top of the order. It's outside for a ball, excuse me. Kevin Zanger, the shortstop, will lead things off for St. Ambrose, top of the 6th. As SIU trails 9-1 after Taylor put a 5 in the bottom of the 5th. Third one from Wattups, a hard-throwing right-hander. He finds the zone. It's now 1-2. Tucker transferred in this fall from Anderson University after spending his freshman season down there. 1-2 off speed will freeze Zanger for the strikeout. First one of the day for Wattups, the 8th one for the pitching staff today for TU. The Starter Matt Patton went 5 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, no walks, struck out 7 on 51 pitches. Brings up Matt Baldwin, the second baseman. Spring Arbor in their first game of the year. And then Baldwin will send this one to the right center field gap. Good jump from Atkins, easy catch. And there are quickly 2 outs in the top of the 6th for St. Ambrose.
Now batting right fielder Mike Miller.
Mike Miller, who normally wears number 26, wears number 6, excuse me, wearing number 28 today. 5'10" senior lefty out of Chicago. And the first pitch is taken for a called strike. One strike the count to Miller. He's 1 for 2 today. A single and a flyout. Off the end of the bat, just out of the reach. No, sliding in. Colby almost spun and threw it from his backside over to first. But the ball popped out as he's come in to replace Lawson over at second. The defensive switches. Christian McGill comes in to play left field. He replaces Wyatt Whitman. Colby in at second. Lawson will bump over to third and take the spot of Nathan Taggart. So the first hit of the day in a long, long while for St. Ambrose comes all the way since the first inning. But a good effort there from Colby at second. Swing and a miss on the first one from Barreto. Barreto 0 for 2 today. Reached on a fielder's choice and struck out swinging his second time up, excuse me. 9-1 the Taylor lead here in the top half of the 6th inning. The 1-strike pitch. Low for ball number 1. Waddup's out of the stretch. 6'4" right-hander, covered up by Watson low, and the count now 2 balls and a strike. Nine to 1 the Taylor lead here in the top of the 6th. A man on with 2 outs. A nice breaking ball there from Waddup's. Evens the count at 2-2. Barreto, the senior from Chicago, trying to find his first hit of the afternoon. The 2-2. In front of that one, third base side and foul. Two balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs, top of the 6th. This one smoked into center field. Weiss comes in on a charge. He'll make another sliding catch, this time for out number 3 in the top of the 6th. 9-1, the Taylor lead through 5.5. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
The Taylor University Athletic Department would like to thank BZW Master Painters, Central Indiana Orthopedics, Pizza Hut of Gas City, and the Players Club at Woodland Trails for being women's basketball season sponsors for the 2017-2018 basketball season.
New pitcher in here for St. Ambrose, number 9, Sean Jaycox. And the count evens up 1-1 here with Austin Medica. Bottom of the 6th is where we sit. And Taylor up 9-1 after a 5-run bottom of the 5th. Medica off the end of the bat. And the count 1-2 to the leadoff man here in the bottom of the 6th. Bacino went just those 2 innings, but gave up the 5 runs on 2 home runs there in the bottom of the 5th. 1-2 to Medica. Curveball sits back. He'll sail up and on over our heads to the left. No other changes out there for St. Ambrose. And there is strike number 3 for the first strikeout of the day for anyone on the St. Ambrose staff. 1 gone for Taylor here in the bottom of the 6th.
Now batting, center fielder Sam Weiss.
Weiss will be followed by Jared Atkins. Nobody on, 1 out. And that one taken on the right half of the plate by Weiss for a called strike. Sam 1 for 3 today. Single to left his first time up. Sits back and watches a curveball miss for ball 1. Has been retired the last 2 times he's been to the dish. Third one off the end of the bat. Grounder towards Baldwin at second. Knocks it down and throws over to first. For out number 2. Protective elbow sleeve came off there for Weiss as he was hustling down to first base. So with 2 outs and nobody on, it brings up Jared Atkins, who has reached base safely all 3 times he's been to the plate today. 2 singles, and then he reached on an error in the 5th, which kickstarted that 5-run bottom of the 5th for TU. Curveball from Jaycox. Away for a ball. Second pitch. And he gets Atkins to sky this one to the left side of the infield. Zanger calls everybody off. The shortstop reaches back. And there's the first 1, 2, 3 inning of the day for TU. We've played 6 here from Winterholder Field, and it's Taylor 9 and St. Ambrose 1. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
It's true. Many of us spend more time thinking about what's for dinner than thinking about retirement. But if you think your retirement needs deserve more attention, we agree, and we'd like to help. Your local Edward Jones financial advisors, Ryan Jones, Mark Sieglin, and Rob Sisson, can help you get started today. They are proud corporate partners of Taylor University Athletics. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Top of the 7th with Taylor up by 8. Second full inning of work for Tucker Wattups. And the first man he'll see here in the top of the 7th is the center fielder, Mike Gonzalez. Update from Winona Lake as Gonzalez will foul that off the end of the bat. Out of play. Taylor women's basketball defeats Grace in the regular season finale, 70-59 the final. So the Taylor women's basketball team will come in on a 3-game winning streak coming into the Crossroads League tournament on Tuesday. Also is their 21st win of the year. So congratulations to Jody Martinez, Natalie Young, and the ladies this afternoon. Off the end of the bat, a slow dribbler there from Gonzalez rolls foul. It's a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Gonzalez, Enos, and Stroman, the 3 up for St. Ambrose here in the top of the 7th. Big looping curveball from the 6'4 right-hander Wattups, and it misses 2-2. Had the pleasure to get to know Tucker a little bit this summer, even before he committed to TU, playing for the Kokomo Jackrabbits of the Prospect League, as he fires in a fastball low and a swing and a miss. First strikeout of the day second strikeout of the day, I should say, for Wattups.
Now batting the DH, Tanner Enos.
So 1 out, nobody on, top of the 7th for Tyler Enos. He's the DH today for the Fighting Bees, senior out of Bettendorf, Iowa. Breaking ball loops in for a called strike. Enos has had his struggles today. He's 0 for 2, both strikeouts looking at the hand of the starter, Matt Patton. Second one from Wattups. Grounded left side. There's Lawson at third. Fields a couple hops. Bullets one across. Kennedy reaches into the air, hauls it down. And there are 2 gone here in the top of the 7th for St. Ambrose, trailing by 8.
Now batting first baseman, Zach Stroman.
So Zach Stroman will be the one to try to keep the top of the 7th alive for St. Ambrose. They trail 9-1. They led 1-0 after the top of the first. Taylor tied it at 1 after 1. Put up 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and then a 5 spot there in the bottom of the 5th for their current 8-run cushion. Curveball in on the hands of the lefty Stroman. Taken for a ball. Stroman 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a ground out. And that one goes off the tip of Watson's glove. And the count 2-0 to Stroman. Transferred in this year, he's out of Yorkville, Illinois. Fastball, left corner, called strike. Peyton Minder is on deck. Nobody on. Normal depth of the infield. Swing and a miss on a nice little changeup off speed there from Wattups to even the count at 2-2. McGill still in left. Weiss in center. Adkins is in right. The 2-2 from Wattups off the end of the bat. Lane calls off Lawson, makes the catch on the left side. And we get the stretch with Taylor up 9-1 here over St. Ambrose. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Since opening in the late 1980s, the Maddox Family Dental Center has been focusing on providing the highest quality dental care for their patients. Children to adults can receive a full-service treatment to meet their dental needs. The Maddox Family Dental Center has 2 locations in Hartford City and Dunkirk and always welcomes new patients. The Maddox Family Dental Center, a proud corporate partner of Taylor University Athletics.
after everybody got a chance to stretch it out, we're in the bottom of the 7th. And Andrew Kennedy leading things off for TU. Second full inning of work for the right-hander, Jay Cox. He gets Kennedy to swing and miss. Good couple pitches there from the 5'8", Sean Jay Cox, right-hander from Chicago. Kennedy has reached base safely in the first 3 times at the plate. And he'll sit on a curveball away from him in the count 1-2. Andrew had the RBI double in the 2nd, a walk with the bases loaded in the 3rd, and then singled and scored in the 5th. The 1-2. And Kennedy fights one off on the inside part of the plate. And it remains a ball and 2 strikes. Bottom 3rd of the order up here for Taylor in the bottom of the 7th. And that one misses away, 2-2. Lawson with the 3-run homer to get things going in the bottom of the 5th is on deck. Curveball again, and Kennedy watches it sail in high for ball 3. And then Kennedy swings and misses on the 3-2. First time he has not reached base safely today, and there's one gone for Taylor in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting third baseman Brett Lawson.
So Brett Lawson's first hit of the day. He's got driven in 4 runs on the afternoon. Had the RBI ground out in the 2nd. This one popped up to short center field, and it will fall in between Gonzalez and Zanger. Second hit in as many at-bats for the now third baseman, Brett Lawson. And Taylor with 13 knocks on the day. They've got a man on with 1 out, leading by 8 here in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting shortstop Josh Lane.
Josh Lane singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3 on the day. And the first pitch right at the knees, taken by Lane for a strike. Bottom of the 7th, Taylor up 9-1 over St. Ambrose of Iowa. Second one to Lane. He'll take that one on the right half for a called strike. Lawson on first after the bloop single to center. Taylor with 13 hits on the afternoon that have led to 9 runs. The 0-2. High, and Lane holds off. 1-2. A win today to put Taylor back 2 games above 500 at 6-4. Would also be their first win at home this season. St. Ambrose's contest today, their first of the 2018 year. And the 4th one misses high. 2-2. The 2-2. And Lane chases one high. And he's down on strikes. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 7th with a man on. That'll bring up Christian McGill for TU.
Christian McGill.
Has now played in all 10 games for Taylor this season. And is 4 for 12 previously, with 4 runs driven in. No extra base knocks in those 4 hits. And the first one breaks away for a ball. We're in the bottom of the 7th, 2 outs and a man at first for TU. McGill underneath this one, skies it down the left field line in foul ground. Now will be caught just in foul territory by the shortstop, Kevin Zanger. We're through 7 here from Winterholder Field. It's Taylor 9 and St. Ambrose 1. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. The Taylor University campus store, with their innovative textbook butler delivery service and name brand Taylor apparel and gifts, supports the Trojans year-round. The campus store, powered by Tree of Life Books, is a proud corporate partner of TU Athletics. It's easy to find something to show off someone's TU pride with 2 campus locations, one in the Dome and one in the campus center near the food court. The store is also open 24/7 at taylorcampusstore.com. One change for TU, Andrew Kennedy out at first. Brian Fields will come in and play first base as we start things here in the top of the 8th. And Taylor up 9-1 here over St. Ambrose. This one ripped towards center field. It'll fall in front of Sam Weiss. Peyton Minder with the 4th hit of the afternoon for SAU.
Now batting catcher Josh Klubeck.
First one of the day for Minder, the third baseman. And I'll bring up the catcher, Josh Hlubeck, who's 0 for 2 today. First time he's faced Waddups. And this is the last man that has not faced Waddups for St. Ambrose. Over to first, Fields. No tag applied. Brendan Booby, the right-handed freshman from Southern Indiana, starting to warm up in the Taylor pen. Second one from Waddups here at the plate. And it comes down the left half of the plate to even it up at 1-1. Hlubeck struck out looking and struck out swinging in the 3rd and 5th innings, respectively. Leadoff man on at first, here at the top of the 8th. Off the end of the bat, and it's 1-2 as the ball rolls foul. Hlubeck choking up on the bat in front of this one. And the right-handed bat pulls it foul down the third base line. Count remains a ball and 2 strikes. As St. Ambrose has not scored since the top of the first. As they trail 9-1, batting here at the top of the 8th. 1-2, swing and a miss on the breaking ball. There's a strikeout for Waddups and one gone in the top of the 8th for SAU.
Now batting shortstop Kevin Zanger.
Hlubeck now 0 for 3 today, all via the strikeout. Back to the top of the order for St. Ambrose and Kevin Zanger, the shortstop. Waddups, the right-hander, out of the stretch, off the end of the bat. And this one will bend foul. Zanger 0 for 3 this afternoon. 2 strikeouts sandwiched around a ground out. Second one, breaking ball, will find the bottom part of the zone for a called strike. 0-2 the count to the shortstop for St. Ambrose, Kevin Zanger. Batted .323 a year ago in 51 games played. 53 hits, 7 doubles, and 22 runs driven in. The 0-2. Try to get him to chase, covered. Watson will fire it down to second, tagged by Lane. That's an easy runner thrown out trying to steal. Went on the first missed catch there from Watson. Good cover by Lane, the shortstop, and there are 2 outs. A ball and 2 strikes. Waddups out of the windup. And he bullets in a fastball low. 2-2. We're on the top of the 8th. Taylor up by 8. As Brendan Booby has halted his warm-up. The entire bullpen watching the 2-2 pitch here from Waddups. And they'll have to watch another one as that one just missed out of the zone. Fields at first, Colby at second, Lane and Lawson at short and third. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Dropped by Waddups. He'll pick it up. Down to first for out number 3. We head to the bottom of the 8th. Taylor up by 8, 9-1. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
Ivanhoe's has been serving Taylor students since 1965, when Ivan and Carol Slane purchased the restaurant. Located on Main Street, Ivanhoe's is less than a mile from the Taylor campus and is open 7 days a week. The menu features choices for lunch, dinner, as well as 100 different milkshakes and sundaes. Customers can find other dessert items as well. The staff is proud to support Taylor University and appreciates the support of Ivanhoe's through the years.
Pinch hitter to start things off here in the bottom of the 8th. It's Alex Sanders, the backup catcher for TU. He'll lead it off. He'll be followed by Colby and Medica. Sanders on the year, playing in just his 3rd game. He's not taking an official at bat this year. This one will go for a hit right back up the middle. Taylor's 14th of the afternoon. And Sanders leads off the bottom of the 8th with a knock. And the leadoff man on with Taylor up by 8, 9-1. And the courtesy runner Kyle Kelsheimer will come in. He will courtesy run for the catcher Sanders. Actually make it Sanders is actually going to have to stay in here and run. I believe it's because Kelsheimer had already come in to run twice.
Now batting second baseman Tanner Colby.
So Tanner Colby will bat for the first time today. Comes in 2 for 10 in his freshman campaign. With Medica, the man on deck. Sits on the first one for a ball. Second one. From the righty Jay Cox to the lefty Colby. He takes it for a strike. That one almost nicked Colby on the right bicep. He spins out of the way, and it's 2-1. Colby, 6'1" freshman from Ellettsville, Indiana, and Edgewood High School. Pickoff attempt, nobody over. That one rolls away. It's going to roll all the way to the bullpen. So Sanders is going to take second, and now Sanders is going to motor his way all the way over to third. So miscommunication. Stroman wasn't anywhere near the bag. Jaycox threw it. It bounced all the way. And then Sanders turns on the Jets and makes his way over to third base. So a runner in scoring position now for Colby with nobody gone here at the bottom of the 8th. Second error of the day here against SAU. And Colby lays off of that one. It's 3-1 in his favor. Jaycox out of the stretch. Inside right corner. Called for strike 2. So the count full, nobody out. And Sanders standing at third base after the error. The payoff pitch. Colby got off the end of the bat. Foul ground. Stroman makes a good effort after it, but couldn't get there in time. And it remains 3-2. We're at the bottom of the 8th. Taylor up 9-1. They blew the game open. In the bottom of the 5th, after a fielding error, with 2 outs, kept the inning alive. A 3-run homer by Lawson, a 2-run shot from Whitman has given Taylor this 9-1 cushion. Another 3-2 to Colby. Straightens this one out, but still pops into the air. Gonzalez, the center fielder, calls everybody off. It goes off the end of his glove, and so now Sanders will come in to score from third. Colby stands at second after the fielding error, and it's 10-1 Taylor here in the bottom of the 8th. So still nobody out for the DH Austin Medica. As Colby, with some good speed, will stand over at second base. Fifth time Medica's been to the plate today. And takes the first one off the left half on an off speed for a strike. Medica walked in the third. He's been retired the other 3 times he's been to the dish today. Cody Tate is on deck. He'll bat in place of Sam Weiss. And time is called as Holubeck will jog out and talk things over with his pitcher, Jay Cox. 10-1 the Taylor lead. Had their first 2 home runs of the year after going homerless in the first 9 games after breaking the single-season mark for home runs a year ago. And bringing back the entire lineup from 2017 as well. 0-1 to the DH Medica, with Colby taking a big old lead over there at second. Medica gets underneath and he'll foul out a play to the left. The righty Jay Cox against the lefty Medica. Kicks and deals home the 0-2. Medica will groove this one towards right center field. It will fall in for a hit and bounce just in front of the warning track. They'll wave Colby in from second. Medica in with a stand-up double. And Taylor leads 11-1 on the RBI knock from Austin Medica. 4th extra base hit for the Trojans, their second double. And 2 runs have come home here in the inning for TU. As Kelsheimer will come in, he will run for Medica. And so Cody Tate will bat here for TU.
Now batting for Taylor, number 16, Cody Tate.
Cody Tate, 5'8", junior, from Loganville, Georgia. Is 1 for 3 on the year, playing in his 5th contest. Eubler now warming up for TU in the pen. As we're in the bottom of the 8th, Taylor has tacked on 2 more runs, and they lead 11-1. Nobody out, runner at second. And the lefty Tate will take that one for a strike. Tate with that slightly open left-handed batting stance. And the second one will find the zone from Jay Cox. 0-2 to Cody Tate. Oh-2. Tate will miss. Picked up by Holubeck, tags him out, and there's one gone.
Now batting right fielder Jared Atkins.
So Jared Atkins will stay in and bat. 2 for 4 today. Has reached base safely 3 times. 11-1 the Taylor lead here in the bottom of the 8th. The Trojans playing in their 10th game of the year. St. Ambrose playing in their 1st. And the first one taken from Atkins is a called strike down the middle. 15 hits for TU today to go with those 11 runs. The 2 teams have also combined for 5 errors on the afternoon. Second one to Atkins. Sits back and will send it towards center field. Gonzalez backtracking, stops, reaches up and makes the catch. Kelsheimer will tag. He'll try to advance to third. The relay throw not in time. And Kelsheimer will slide in over at third base with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th for TU. And Andrew Kennedy will re-enter for TU and bat after Fields came into play first in the top of this 8th inning.
Number 6, Andrew Kennedy.
Kennedy 2 for 3 today. 5th time at the dish. Had the RBI double that gave TU the lead in the bottom of the 2nd. Walked to the bases full in the 3rd. Singled and scored in the 5th. And then struck out swinging an inning ago in the 7th. First pitch from Jay Cox is away. And it's called for a ball. Kelsheimer stands at third with Kennedy at the plate and Lawson, the man on deck. 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Kennedy sits back, and the count now 2-0 in his favor. Eubler, the sophomore right-hander, warming up for TU in the pen to our left. Third one to Kennedy. And that one will find the right corner for a called strike. TU up by 10 here in the bottom of the 8th. And the 2-1. Kennedy will swing and miss. A nice breaking ball thrown there from Jay Cox. The count even at 2-2. Jay Cox to the right edge of the bump. Bounce one in, covered up by Halubeck. And the count is now full to the Taylor starting first baseman, Andrew Kennedy. The payoff pitch. And that nicks Kennedy on the arm. It looked like, or they're going to say that it hit the knob of the bat first. Our umpire crew will come together and have a chat about it. Kennedy swung on it. He's saying that it hit his right elbow before it made any contact with the bat. And they will award Kennedy first base, saying that it did hit him before it hit any part of the bat. So the runner at first here with 2 outs for Taylor in the bottom of the 8th. And the 3-run homer, courtesy of Brett Lawson. He'll step up and see what he can do here. After going 0 for 2 in his first 2 times at the plate, he has homered and singled his last 2 times up. First one to Lawson. Loops in and finds that right corner. Lawson, 4 runs driven in today. The RBI ground out in the 2nd. Then the 3-run homer in the 5th. Second one high. 1-1. First and third are where the runners are for TU, with 2 outs and a 10-run advantage. Curveball, beautifully thrown by Jay Cox, and he's ahead 1-2. The 1-2. Curveball again, called strike 3. We head to the top of the 9th. Taylor up by 10. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network.
The Taylor University Athletic Department would like to thank BZW Master Painters, Central Indiana Orthopedics, Pizza Hut of Gas City, and the Players Club at Woodland Trails for being women's basketball season sponsors for the 2017-2018 basketball season.
Batting second baseman Matt Baldwin.
So Matt Baldwin will lead things off at the top of the 9th. He'll face the freshman right-hander Brendan Booby, who comes in to try to close this one out for the Trojans, up by 10. Jonathan Foster now also playing center field for the Trojans. Andrew Kennedy, after coming in and batting for Brian Fields, will go back there and play first base here in the top of the ninth. Alex Sanders stays in, and he will do the catching. 1-1, ripper right up the middle, just out of the reach of Cody Tate there at second. It goes into center field. And a hit today, second one of the afternoon for Matt Baldwin after he had the first hit of the game. He's on here to lead things off in the top of the ninth.
Right fielder Mike Miller.
Booby coming back from a ACL tear during his senior basketball season a year ago. And nice looking breaking ball there from the 5'9" right-hander. A lot of potential, a lot of excitement around this young arm for TU. Off the end of the bat, and he's even the count at 1-1 on a foul ball. 13 months post-op is what Brendan is right now. Still trying to get back to where he was during his high school career. Third pitch. Fastball low and away to the lefty. This will be Mike Miller. 2-1. No outs, top of the ninth. St. Ambrose trailing by 10. Inside, this one gets away from Sanders all the way to the right backstop. Jogging over the second will be Baldwin. Three and one the count. With Baldwin, the leadoff man, now standing at second. Wind blowing out towards right field for the lefty, Mike Miller. Booby out of the stretch. The 3-1. Popped into the air, into the infield. Tate comes in, screams everybody off. And we've got one out here at the top of the ninth.
Now batting left fielder Andrew Barreto.
A win today would be Taylor's 6th of the year, put them back to 2 games above 500. Here's Andrew Barreto, the left fielder. And Booby will miss high for a ball. Booby out of the stretch, looks at the runner at second, and delivers a breaking ball for the 1-1. Third appearance on the hill for Brendan this year as he goes ahead 1-2. That one low in the zone. A 6.75 ERA. Has thrown in just an inning and a third previous. Allowed a hit and a run. Walked 2 and struck out 1. The 1-2. Curveball beautifully thrown by the youngster, and there's 2 outs here at the top of the ninth. That was a pretty pitch from the freshman right-hander.
Center fielder David Gonzalez.
2 outs for David Gonzalez here at the top of the ninth with his team down 11-1. He has a man standing at second. Just 5 hits a day for SAU. Taylor with 15. And the breaking ball will miss away from the lefty Gonzalez. This on a grounder left side, fielded by Lawson. Over to first for out number 3. And that will wrap things up here in the top half of the contest in the top half of the ninth. Taylor wins their first home game of the year. They win today by a final of 11-1. We'll be back to wrap things up on the Ivanhoe's post-game show. This is Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. Welcome back, Ivanhoe's post-game show. Taylor wins today by the final of 11-1. Matt Patton gets the win. The senior improves to 3-0 on the year. He went 5 innings, allowed 2 hits, 1 run, did not walk anybody, and struck out 7 on 51 pitches. Highlights today, the game-winning hit was Andrew Kennedy's. He had an RBI double to give Taylor a 2-1 lead in the second, and they would not trail the rest of the way. After St. Ambrose collected 2 hits there in the first inning, they finished with just 3 more through the rest of the afternoon. Other good performances today. Jared Atkins had a pair of singles, scored twice. We mentioned Kennedy's RBI double. He also drove in a run on a bases-loaded walk. He singled and scored also in the 5th. Lawson drove in 4 runs today, 3 on a home run with 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th after the inning should have been over. A fielding error allowed the inning to continue, and then Wyatt Whitman followed with his first home run of the year, a 2-run shot to close things out there in the 5th. Taylor tacked on 2 more runs in the 8th, and they win today by the final of 11-1. Trojans back here for a 4-game set against IU South Bend coming up on Friday and Saturday. That is a 2 o'clock start time next Friday. That is February 23rd. We thank all of you folks for tuning in today. We thank Cordell for running the camera and everything else here for us this afternoon, as Taylor wins their 6th game of the year and their first game here at home. Final today, Taylor 11, St. Ambrose 1. This has been a presentation of Taylor Baseball here on the Trojan Sports Network. We hope you have a good rest of the weekend, and good afternoon and good night from Upland, Indiana.